Hi, I'm Kim, and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Before I get going with this video, I just want to take a moment to thank my friend Allison very much for your donation to our channel's PayPal account. Thank you, Allison. I mentioned a couple of videos ago that I would be doing an interview with Barnhardt. Now, of course, many within our community know Anne. Anne is responsible for the video Diabolical Narcissism, and Anne really did push out into the forefront the diabolical nature of the narcissist, cluster B, psychopath, sociopath, etc. Now, I did the video with Anne. I thought we would do about a 1-hour interview. As it turned out, it's almost 3 hours, and I'm unable to load a video that large. My computer simply doesn't have the capacity for that big of a file. So what I've done is I've made a series of videos from that interview. When I mentioned that I was going to be doing the video with Anne, I did encourage you guys to leave questions for Anne, and many of you did, and I was able to ask Anne those questions on your behalf, and we can all look forward to hearing her answers. This first video is not from the early part of the interview. It's actually from the latter part of the interview. It's not, the video series is not in order of how the interview played out. In fact, I'm putting this video out first because I believe this is a situation that's become absolutely dire within our community. There has been such an increase of narc abuse, alleged narc abuse, recovery channels popping up, featuring the concepts and basic principles of New Age philosophy. As New Age philosophy is deeply steeped in the occult, I feel that this is really a threat to our community. I see this as tremendously dangerous, and since this was really a conversation that we had towards the end of the 3-hour video, I thought, no, I'm going to bump this ahead because I believe it's that important. So how do you know if you are dealing with New Age philosophy? How can you protect yourself from it, and what are the warning signs? One of the primary principles of New Age philosophy is going to be this concept of the broken inner child, and the concept that you yourself have detached from self. Often they will refer to themselves as intuitive guides or spirit guides. You will often hear them talking about the inner goddess concept, the theory that each of us within ourselves is in fact God. As I have been studying New Age philosophy and its origins, there is no denying the fact that this is deeply steeped in Satanism. There is no denying that fact, and anyone who would dare to, first of all, put forward the principles and practices of New Age philosophy and then deny their origins is truly a deceiver. I explained to Anne what my concerns were, as I do believe we were attacked by a demonic force, a demonic entity, and Anne had a lot of great insight about that too, and you'll see that in another video. But I explained to her what my concerns were, why I was so concerned about this rise of occultism within our community, and this is what Anne had to say. I mean, what are your thoughts on this New Age philosophy? Because it's surging everywhere. Tarot card readers, spiritual guides. I mean, all of these, the rise of Wicca, it's everywhere.
I cannot think of a more obvious example or manifestation of the saying, out of the frying pan and into the fire. I mean, good grief, we're talking about diabolical narcissism, and then people are becoming convinced that the solution to that is the occult, more demons. More sacrilege, more devilish, black, dark crap. Oh, it's crazy. The only way out, and I know that a lot of your listeners are probably sitting here listening to me talking about the Catholic Church, and believe me, a lot of your listeners probably know that I'm fighting to drive diabolical narcissists out of the Catholic Church, out of the very top levels of the Catholic Church. And they're saying, Anne, you're such a hypocrite. You're saying all of this other stuff, that's bad. The only solution to this is the Catholic Church. Look, the whole thing is just a rat's nest of diabolical narcissists. Yes, and here's why I say this. Because the church is a completely unique institution. It is a supernatural reality. Nothing else is. Only the church is this supernatural reality on earth. So you have to address it as a completely different category from everything else. Then what you have to make the precision between is the institutional church, which is completely infiltrated by diabolical narcissists right now, and the supernatural church, which is spotless, holy, indefectible. And I mean, it's really hard right now to see and keep focused on the supernatural, spotless, perfect, snow white, flawless, indefectible reality of the supernatural church when you've got all this crap going on. But that's precisely why Satan is attacking it the way he is. All this New Age stuff is satanic. It is satanic. So if you think that you're going to be helped being liberated from a diabolical paradigm, which is DN victimization, by going to something that is in itself satanic, diabolical, demonic, my dears, you're not only, there's the parable about you drive one demon out of the house, but if you don't stay diligent, 7 more come back in, and then you're worse off than you were. Yeah, you can end up way worse off than you were being victimized by the DN if you then go jump in bed with a bunch of literal witches and Satanists. You could end up possessed. Or you could end up, like addicted to drugs, prostituting yourself under bridges. You could end up doing language shit that is so nasty that you can't even fathom it right now, because that is the power of that occult and the demonic and so forth. I'm with you. You people have to stay the hell away from that crap. Even more so than mainstream psychology and psychiatry, which is, and therapy, which I am no fan of. You're better off taking your luck, pressing your luck with some sort of a counselor or therapist and doing talk therapy than you are going to some damn witch and doing freaking witchcraft and satanic black rituals.
I'm going to tell you, I see these New Age philosophers targeting victims of narcissistic abuse as the most diabolical predators out there. Why? Because they know this is a group of truly harmed and injured people who are desperately trying to break this cycle of abuse. And here they are with their candy coated, I'm your friend, come with me, I'm your spiritual guide, I'm your intuitive guide, I'm going to heal your broken inner child. I mean, the creep, I'm telling you, when I hear that, my hair stands on end, my blood runs cold. I immediately, dear God, please stop this evil demon. They are the worst diabolical of all, because they are like a narcissist. Initially, when it targets a victim, like you've said, they're looking for great people. What's the thrill in diminishing a diminished person? They're looking for the bright light they can diminish, right? But this predator, this online spirit guide creep is actually targeting people that they know are diminished. Think about it in terms of like pedophiles. What kind of children do pedophiles specifically target? Mm-hmm. Children who are in broken homes, children who already have issues and problems. How evil is that? Yeah.
How evil do you have to be to go try to find some little kid whose life at home is already some damn train wreck, and hone in on them so that you can sexually abuse them? It's exactly the same with the new age people. It's just, the pedophile is sexually, physically raping the little kid. The new age charlatan peddlers, they're trying to just spiritually rape you, but it's a very similar dynamic. They're going after people that they perceive are already completely weak and vulnerable, that they think will be easy targets. And I think, I would suspect that they're not trophy hunters so much. They're going for quantity.
Yes.
They want to notch the belt. They want to have dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands. I'm convinced that that's what a lot of like televangelists, the ones that are just,
Yes.
the super sleazy, they look at their ratings and they look at the amount of money that they're able to raise, and they just think, I have power and spiritual control over thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So it's not going for the big trophy, it's going for numbers. Yeah.
I see them as super bottom feeder predators. I see the new age philosophers as being the same thing. Hey, I recognize that you feel like your soul was attacked. You've been attacked mentally. You've been deceived. It is this deception that's broken your heart. So here I am to deceive you more. It's like that same crazy making, and it really scares me for our community. That by the time people end up at these channels, they are truly broken. So they've really got a vulnerable crowd there. And I can just see them licking their fingers, look at all the yummy morsels of injured victims. It's horrifying to me. You all very clearly heard Anne say that it is her intention to help expose and drive out diabolical narcissism from the church that she so dearly loves. It is my intention here within our community to expose and drive out the New Age philosophers, the occultists, who are here contaminating our community. This is simply unacceptable to me. I really don't care who I piss off, and I'm sure this will draw out some rage within their little, beehive cluster of creeps. So I am fully expecting some backlash from this. I think that we'd all agree that for the most part, we were in pretty good shape when the narcissist found us. I mean, the narcissist is notorious for destroying our sense of self, which would imply, of course, that we had a sense of self and a sense of well-being prior to meeting them. We're often talking about how our careers and finances were destroyed, which would imply that your finances were okay or your career was okay. So typically, a target, a victim of narcissistic abuse, is going to be in fairly good shape overall when you consider the different aspects of a person's life. A victim tends to, be spiritually sound, their soul's intact, their mental state is good, their emotional state is good, their finances and careers are fairly good. So the narcissist is targeting someone who is, superior to them. That's not what's happening with these creatures. These creatures are literally preying on people who have been diminished. If that in itself does not indicate extreme bottom feeder, well, I don't know what does. But in addition to that, this is a big one, and this is what makes victims of narcissistic abuse so vulnerable to these charlatans, these peddlers of New Age philosophy. If you were so vulnerable to a narcissist when you were in relatively good shape overall, and now you are broken, well, I'm going to say your level of vulnerability, your potential for extreme harm beyond your wildest dreams is very, very prevalent. I mean, Anne makes references to things that, becoming drug addicted, becoming a prostitute. People be scratching their head going, well, that would never happen to me. Well, famous last words. It's one thing to be attacked when you are in a place of emotional stability. It's something else to be lured by these deceptive monsters when you are not at the top of your game. Anyways, I want you guys to give this some serious thought and protect yourself. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. We will be on to the next video from the interview with Anne right away. I hope you're having a great narc-free day.